Good morning and happy Wellness Wednesday, everyone. My name is Brian the Botanist, and today my special guest is Monika Arenas at Feed Me Health and the CFO of Lunafast and a registered dietitian. And Monika is going to tell us so much today about detoxification and fasting and gut health. So I'm really excited to have Monika Arenas join us. Let's see if we can have her come on board any second. Monika, feel free to join the live. See if I can find you. Is just joining it now. How's everyone doing? Do you guys have your elixirs and your shrooms and your superfoods? Did you get your morning routine started? How are you feeling? Can you hear me? How's my audio? What do you think of our True North mission statement of uncompromising standards? The belief that we must continuously evolve. There's Monika. Hi, Monika. And we're going to be talking about ultimate shrooms today and ultimate elixir and how they help with fasting, how they help with detoxification, and all those great things for health. Let's see. Did we get? Let's see. Monika, I sent you a request. If you click join. Unable to join. Uh-oh. That's strange. Monika, can you try to hit? Okay. I sent you a request. Did you see the request? All you do is click join. Let me try. Otherwise, we're going to have to restart this. Okay, I sent you the request again. Good question. The chia
There we
seeds are
go.
not ground. Hi, Monika.
Good morning.
Good
How's it going
morning.
over
Great to
there?
see you. Great. Are you in Mexico or Miami?
I'm in Mexico. I was
Oh,
traveling.
yay.
Yeah. I just got back to Tulum. I was actually traveling throughout different regions of Mexico with Gloria.
Oh, wow. Are you with Gloria right now in this week?
No, I just finished traveling with her though.
Oh, okay. Great. And you guys
Yeah.
were, okay, in Mexico. Yeah. So you're living in Tulum, right?
Yeah, I went to Tulum last summer for my birthday and I stayed. I loved it so much. And, thanks to network marketing and just having the ability to work helping others throughout the world, it's been really fruitful. So very happy to
That's
be here
awesome.
in a space where many other people are really health conscious and seeking this lifestyle as well. So
Yeah, well, I want to have everyone get to know you today. You've been a friend of mine for several years. I've known you and Bianca Abbott, the two founders of Lunafast, as two women in the community that are doing a lot for, education and gut health and detoxification and also fasting. And I know that you've been going back and forth from Tulum and Miami the last couple of years. And I see you when you come in the office to get, you love the ultimate shrooms and you love the elixir too, I know, and you actually require them for your program. So today I just want, to ask you about your services, how you help people. I'm really curious about fasting. I've done some fasting in my life, but as an athlete, it's hard to fast long term. But I'm sure there's ways around, fixing that situation too. Right now, we'll talk about that later. Those are the topics I want to get into is like, first of all, catch us up on what you've been up to lately, because everyone, I want them to know you as the co-founder of Lunafast, a registered dietitian, and your Instagram is Feed Me Health,
yeah.
right? I'll put
Yes.
that in the chat here at Feed Me Health,
Thank
and
you.
Lunafast, is it the
Yeah,
Lunafast?
the Lunafast, correct.
The Lunafast. All right, follow both of those guys to learn more about Monika. And yeah,
Thank
Monika, what have you
you.
been up to lately?
Well, I want to give you a cheers with my shrooms. I have some fresh cacao that I got out here in Mexico. So
Oh wow,
I
I
drink
love
my
fresh cacao.
shrooms every single morning and also my elixir in a fasted state, especially before I go work out. So it's become such a staple in my lifestyle, and I'm so grateful to have these superfoods in my life. So, yeah. So what I've been
Cool.
up to. So I came out here and I had a whole what they would call like an ego death slash rebirth. It was just a complete different opportunity. It was a new land, a new space, and I've been exploring a lot of different creative sides of myself, but also got really more honed in on Lunafast and, you know, working with my online programs. So that's really my work has been more focused on that. We're
What is your
relaunching.
online program?
Sorry?
What's your online program?
So the Lunafast is one of them, and then I also do
Okay.
coaching for clients in nutrition. Yeah, so
Okay,
I
cool.
focus on helping people have a healthier relationship with themselves, with their bodies, with food. That's the root cause of it, of overweight, of addictive eating patterns, of self-sabotage, of, you know, a lot of that comes from just not honoring ourselves. And somewhere along the line, we've experienced some sort of trauma or some sort of pains that have caused that. So just really getting more deeper into that work with my clients virtually, and then also, you know, revamping all of Lunafast. We're so excited. We're coming up with a new webpage, and we've launched actually something called the Luna Box. So getting all your products in a box. So just really working on that right now. And
on your brand.
I just got back from a trip with Gloria where I got invited to educate on a healthy lifestyle. So I got to bring my powders and oils and different things that I work with and educate people on how to live a healthy lifestyle while they're on the road. So we got to travel all the Pacific side of Mexico. It was amazing.
Wow. The Pacific side. Okay. By Baja and by, is that Guadalajara?
Sorry. They called it the Pacific Ascension. Sorry, it was the lower east side. Really,
oh, the east side.
It was like
the
Pacific
Tulum.
On the east side. So it was like the bottom half, like near Guatemala. They named it that. So sorry if I confused you.
No, it's okay. I'm actually potentially going to Guatemala in 2 weeks. So I've been there a couple times, and my friend owns a place in the mountains, and that's where I go to train for running. But want to hear more about Tulum and what you think of that for the audience, that they are curious, I'm sure. But let's jump into Lunafast first. What exactly is it? And tell us just all about Lunafast.
Yeah, so the Lunafast program is a 10-day detoxification program that you can do at home. You can do it anywhere in the world, and it's online coaching guided by Bianca and myself. Bianca is a family nurse practitioner. I'm a licensed dietitian, and we both had, Bianca actually went to Bali and was working out there studying on fasting itself with a few different practitioners, and so she got certified, and I've been more on the lifestyle wellness side component of supporting gut health. I've actually created many detox programs on my own and just doing my own research. So when we came together, we just birthed this baby called Lunafast. And
that was a couple of years. How long have you been doing this now? 3 or 4 years?
It's been exactly 2 years.
2? Okay, It seems like 3 or 4, because I remember when you first came in the office to tell us about it a couple of years ago, and it's grown a lot. I've seen a lot of your proud, happy customer or community. I guess you wouldn't even call them a customer; they're community, and they're always saying how amazing that is. I want to try it at some point. So it's a 10-day program, and I've seen like Netflix specials on like the 30 or 90-day or even like multiple month detox or fasting programs in like Russia. And then there's the ones you hear about, like I've done intermittent fasting for 12 to 20 hours. But I've never gone longer than a day, probably, because I'm a runner, and I know a lot about how you need to give your body a rest. I give my body a rest a lot, like the stomach, the digestion, all the organ problems, because like it seems like it makes sense to me. You don't need to eat 3 to 4 times a day and all these snackings, and it's like because then you're always putting something into your mouth, which like I saw one of your posts about how it's the start of our gut is our mouth. It should be thought of as the start of our gut is our mouth. I think that's great, and I don't have a problem like with carb or restrictions, and I'm plant-based, but I just wonder what is 10 days? Is that something that's attainable for everyone, or is it for a reason versus 3-day? And then is it better than juicing? You hear about a lot of different fasting programs, like intermittent fasting. I mean, what is your thoughts on those 3 topics?
Yeah, so we actually do 5 types of fasts in our 10-day program. So we guide you in and out of a 3-day water fast. That's the highlight of our program.
That's like the middle part, that's like the hardest part is the 3-day water fast.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
So it's not a 10-day fast. I guess it's a journey. It is a
It is a
fast. It's a
10-day
fast.
detoxification program, which is why I
Fast.
kind of like,
Yeah.
I call it more that, so people understand that we're doing a whole gut cleanse in 10 days, but within those 10 days, we're doing 3 days of
3 days.
actual water.
Okay.
And so we go into, because many people, they're eating more of a standard American diet, right? More acidic foods, meats, processed foods, maybe drinking coffee every day, you know, which is what the shrooms are so helpful for.
I'm on a coffee
And
detox right now. I'm on day 8, day 7. Yeah, I was
congratulations.
only
I
drinking 1
actually,
or 2 cups a day, but I got really interested in, I'd never gotten super addicted, but I started to feel, and I read about how it's disrupting sleep. So not to get into a big
yes.
tangent, but I
Yeah.
actually watched some podcasts that really broke it down, how it disrupts your sleep and the half-life of it and the quarter life and how it's still in your brain at midnight if you drink it at like noon. There's some fascinating. So I'm on a coffee, but it's got some nutrients to it. I love coffee here. And I'm going to Guatemala. I mean, if I'm in Guatemala or Colombia, I'm going to have some coffee, but like 1 cup a week maybe. So it's just about being mindful, I think. And that's what you're talking about with food. And so continue on with like what you think intermittent Lunafast, 10 days. This is a guided journey. So
Yeah, yeah.
what's the
I
next
actually got
step
off
after you
coffee.
sorry,
I
go
got
ahead.
off coffee myself too because of the Lunafast. I was
Oh,
really into like the, I need energy, I need to wake up, and fasting got me completely, it really showed me my
mm-hmm.
nervous system. It really showed me my
Yeah,
emotions, my feelings, my body on a completely different level
yeah,
because we completely empty out. And so we
yep.
go into a plant-based alkaline diet, the first phase, and then we go
Okay,
into a 3-day water fast on the new moon. So we're synchronized with the lunar cycles. The new moon is the ideal time. The new moon
okay,
and the full moon, actually, they have shown it alters our bodies to be more susceptible to parasites, viruses, fungi. If we already have it in our bodies, it flares up. So that was
okay,
something that I was recognizing before we decided even
sure.
lunar, because I noticed full moon, my gut was like super sensitive. New moon, same. I just had this desire to give it a break. Like I would have flare-ups of like
Okay,
IBS and just gut stuff, and I couldn't trigger what it was. But I realized later energetically how a lot of just general planetary effects can affect
sure.
our beings. So the
And
new
time of
moon,
day, right, too? Like I've read a lot about what time of day you eat, like it's really important
yeah,
if you
100%. And
do.
so
Yeah.
we go into a 3-day water fast on the new moon, and then we transition out into juice fasting with fruits
Okay.
primarily. So our focus is fruit juice fasting, and then we do a day of fruit fasting. And then
At the
we
end.
go into eating different food groups once a day to add them back in, because also a lot of us don't recognize how sensitive we are to either carbs or to fats, or how do we process vegetables, like how does our gut do with raw
Sure.
versus cooked. And so this is really also a combination of an elimination
And
diet
legumes
and
and things, right? Mm.
yeah, and coming back in gently, because that was my biggest like wall when I started fasting. I joined many groups, I was online, I was searching, I was finding that support, and at the end I created it with Bianca because many people will recommend fasting with coffee. They'll recommend to break the
Mm.
fast and go meet
Black
up for
tea. Yeah.
dinner and eat like
Yeah.
4 meals, and it's like my
Sure.
gut can't handle that. You know, we're not
Yeah.
designed to refeed like that.
Yeah. Wow. So I love it. It's a mindful program and it doesn't need to be, because there's programs out there that are, like you said, that you can just go right from finishing your fast to like a buffet, which doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense, right? I mean, it's not gentle, it's not mindful. Like you just did all this service to your body. So I can see a big benefit. It's like you're treating it with respect, your body with respect. And it sounds amazing. It's something now that doesn't seem as intimidating to me as a 10-day fast. Like it seems like,
Yeah.
it's more gentle, the plant-based section, then you do the fruit at the end, or the fruit. I can eat fruit all day, like watermelon and, stuff like that. So, hi,
Yeah.
everyone.
The last
We're getting a
three
lot of people.
days, we're actually eating solid foods and meals. So we give you a grocery list for before the fast, before and during the water fast, and then after the fast. And then we
Okay.
give you recipes for all 10 days. So this was designed for all types of fasters, whether you're a beginner,
Okay.
whether you've been fasting, or whether you are more advanced and maybe you already
Experience.
know
Wow.
what to do.
Okay.
So we break it down for
So
you,
people can
and
go
then we
deeper if they want to go deep, but you have the people who are beginners and they can easily do it without feeling intimidated.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah, I'm
then
seeing a
we
couple of
also,
people saying they love Lunafast. Green Gabriella.
yes,
Got some
hey,
Lunafast people in the
Gabby.
house.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's
Woo!
so this is all like talking on the physical side, right? We're talking
Yeah.
lifestyle changes.
Okay.
Something else that we brought into this program was our rituals, right? So self-care rituals. This is also another aspect that is so, so important. So I have,
Yeah,
in
tell
my
us about a
bathroom,
couple.
huh?
Tell us a couple of rituals.
Yeah,
We
so some
love
of the
morning
rituals we
rituals.
do, we oil pull first thing in the morning, and then we tongue scrape. I
Okay,
do
so let's
dry
stop. Like
brushing.
oil pulling is something that we hear once in a while about, and for those that don't know, that's where you take coconut oil. I personally have never done it officially, so I need shame on me, but I also have thought about it, and I've been only known about it for a year or two. But I do a lot of other oral health like propolis. But apparently, what you take any type of coconut oil, and you just put like a tablespoon, and how do you do
Cold
it? You put it in
press.
cold pressed?
You
Okay.
want extra, yeah, extra
You
virgin
want the extra
organic.
virgin? Because I've seen at Whole Foods, they have like 4 different grades of coconut oil, and sometimes it's the one on sale that is easy to get. But you use a little bit of coconut oil in your mouth for 30 seconds or a minute, or how long? You swish it around, or
Up to 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay.
Yeah,
And then do
yeah.
you need to put it out overnight, or how does this work? How do you get it ready? Do you just take it right from the
So
bottle and just put
I'm
it
going
in,
to
or?
show you my hack situation over here,
Because the
just so
tongue
you can.
scraping is pretty self-explanatory. It's a tool, and you scrape your tongue. We've seen that
Yeah.
before. Probably most
So I
people
have
have.
my coconut oil here, and then
Okay.
I have a spoon here. And
Okay.
then I just have it there, and then I also have my oils here. So we recommend some essential oils for you to put in your mouth as well that
Okay.
help, because like you were saying,
Like tea
oral.
tree
So we use
or
specific ones
tea
for
tree strong. Yeah.
detoxification. Yeah, we use
Okay.
one called zendocrine, and that's for
Oh,
liver and organ detoxification. So you apply those, and like you were saying, in the mouth, that's where the beginning of our metabolism starts, our digestion starts. So that helps also cleanse our entire gut. And so
okay.
you oil pull for about 10 minutes, and then between that, I do my morning stretches. I do a lot of skin self-care stuff in between. And
Mm-hmm.
then we definitely recommend daily meditation, journaling, earthing, sitting outside, making sure you're hydrating. Greens first thing in the morning, greens and shrooms, or you can do shrooms in hot water, whatever way you prefer. We give you general tips, but then also, of course, you can play and,
Sure.
and make it your own.
Hydrate and lower stress levels, relax, like try
Yeah.
to, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this sounds like, how many people, is it an online thing, or how does it work? Do you meet people in the community, or do you have a Facebook
Yes.
group? What's the
So
best way to connect?
we have a Facebook group for coaching, and then we also have a WhatsApp group for more intimate coaching, maybe for those that want to be more thoroughly supported and guided. We
Okay.
also do an intro call. So we do it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours going through our entire program. So when you purchase the
Oh, wow.
Lunafast, you get a 70-page book that Bianca and I created. It's a
Wow.
PDF,
70
and
pages. Okay.
yeah, and
It's
it
a
gives
lot
you
of
the
information.
entire breakdown. Yeah.
Cool. That's
Well,
amazing. I mean, that's an abundance of information. So it must be like a lot of even like recipes and
yeah.
tips and
Yeah, you get
everything. Okay.
recipes, grocery lists, and also we have
Oh, wow.
videos for every single ritual. So if you don't know what coconut oil pulling is, you're
Okay.
going to get a YouTube link that explains exactly
Oh,
how to
okay.
do it. We give
Love
you the
it.
measurements. We also educate you on the benefits, why oil pull, how to do it, how often. So, and then we give you like a day one, this is everything you're doing. Day two, this is everything you're doing. And so we give you a full summary so you can really feel
Mm-hmm.
supported. Because I think for many of us, it's scary. It's like, am I going to survive 3 days of water?
Yeah.
What is this going to be
Or
like?
you're a
Am I going to be
professional at
okay?
fasting. You guys can be considered pros. You're experts. If CNN were to interview you, you are not only a wellness expert, you're a fasting and detox expert. So you know things that people know who do this many times, or you talk to the most advanced, masterful people who are doing this versus someone like me who I like intermittent fasting, and I know I've watched documentaries and stuff, and I've listened to a lot of podcasts, but I don't know a lot of these best practices that go along with it that you're telling us about here. Plus, you're putting them all in a really structured program. So I think there's a lot of value there. So yeah, how does this work? Do people go online and sign up, or on your website, or is it start every month? Is there a once a month program?
Yeah. So we do it every single new moon. It's
Okay.
monthly. So it's really based around the lunar cycles, and then we start 2 days before the new moon. So you guys can visit lunafast.com. Our Instagram is the
Okay.
Lunafast, but
The
you can
Lunafest.
visit lunafast.com.
Sure.
And you can sign up there. We are almost done relaunching our new site. So super excited, just making it cleaner and just easier to understand, because there's so much information, and Bianca and I, we just really thrive in the science part. Like, we love talking science and talking more about, all the information, but we want to make it easier for everyone to really understand what they're stepping into, because
I love it.
it can be
Yeah,
scary.
you guys have fully embraced the lifestyle and the program. It's very well developed. It's very, and
Thank
we
you.
see a lot of people coming to Live Ultimate who mention it, and they say, I need to get my elixir and shrooms because it's required, but they also have heard about us sometimes, or they're just like, this is awesome. I've always wanted mushrooms. But tell us, why do you include the ultimate elixir and ultimate shrooms, and why are they beneficial?
Yeah, absolutely. So we both noticed that, number one, like, we love our powders, right? Like, I personally, like, once I got off coffee through my own fasting journey, I didn't want to be using anything that was gonna really alter my nervous system, but still give me a nice energetic boost, give me mental clarity, also just support me, right? So the greens powder, being that we're getting, right there, being that you're getting all these micronutrients condensed, you're getting greens, and then fruits, and you're also even getting some phytonutrients
Enzymes and
packed into
herbs.
a little powder, right? Without disrupting too much
No
digestion,
sugar.
without having to go into eating a
Additives.
meal. This is something that can truly support your body, without taking us out of ketosis, without taking us into a space where we're actually having a meal, and it can really support. We notice that a lot of people, because they've been eating their entire lives, right, going into just a fast, was a little shocking to the body. So this is meant to support you during the fast so that you feel energized. And we do Kundalini yoga on the new moon, on the water fast days. So we want to make sure that people are getting the right amount of nutrients and micronutrients to really keep them going, so they don't pass out on us, or,
Vitamin C. What are some of the most important, like, nutrients and supplements and vitamins, like, now in that section? Like, because I know the elixir has a lot of beta glucans, which strengthen the shrooms, and elixir loaded with beta glucans, antioxidants, colorful plant pigments, but not much calories. 35 calories in the elixir. 5, and you don't want, and that's another discussion, point, like, people have asked me many times, do the elixir, does it break a fast, or does it support? I always say it supports it. I don't know if it breaks it, because I think any calories break a fast, but the mushrooms are only 5 calories, and they literally are an extract. We don't even use the raw mushroom. They're medicinal mushroom extracts that are from hot water and ethanol extraction. So there's literally only beta glucans in there and other compounds that boost your immune system. And they're finding more things too about gut health, especially with the elixir with wheatgrass. But wheatgrass has been shown to reverse ulcerative colitis. And we were just talking about that yesterday with a customer, a doctor actually, who had some questions about. But yeah, what have you found with, like, the elixir and shrooms, like, and also nutrients? What are the most important nutrients?
Yeah. So what we have found also is when it comes to breaking a fast, like, is it going to raise the glucose levels in your blood, right? So that's like the main thing that we look at when it comes to breaking a fast, because during the water fast, we do allow up to 1 liter of coconut water a day, or watermelon juice. So
watermelon juice. Okay.
We give you
that makes it a lot easier for me. Yeah,
it makes it, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm like a hummingbird. I need a little bit of that. Yeah. Well, I'm just curious though,
all levels.
What amount of calories breaks a fast? Is there a technical amount, or is it more intuitive?
I would say anything that's, like, probably over 50 calories. And when we're really looking at it, it's like grams of sugar. Like,
it's like a banana would break a fast, right? Definitely a peanut butter sandwich, but a banana would.
Yeah. A banana would.
Obviously a bowl of pasta would, but, like, a cereal would. But, like, like, people like black tea when they fast, and they like lemons. It seems like
So let me
an
give you an
apple cider
example.
vinegar.
So there's a
Yeah.
difference. We allow 1 liter of coconut water for the program.
Any
If you
type.
were
It can even be the ones with sugar in it. Is it pure coconut water? Or do you require it to
yeah,
be pure, or
pure
can it be?
or
It can't be
organic,
like any of the brands that have the sugar added. Is what I was curious.
nothing. If you
That's
can
what
get
I'm.
fresh
Is this a
coconuts,
sugared? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
if you can get fresh coconuts, that's even better.
Okay.
Yeah,
Siri, my friend Siri Coconut sells them. You know Siri?
he does.
Yeah.
They're
Siri's
so
great.
good.
There's a lot of good
He's
coconut sellers in Miami.
Yeah, he's been to our Lunafest events and he supported us all with coconuts. Like will throw events and literally everyone's
Oh yeah.
fasting with us. It's awesome. So
That's so cool.
yeah, there's a difference
Shout out to
between
Siri.
yeah, Siri. There's a difference between chugging a liter of coconut water and drinking 8 ounces. You
Okay.
know, you're gonna really break your fast if you drink all of that coconut water and influx your gut
Sure.
with that many calories and with that much natural sugar. Right now it digests differently than processed sugars, but nonetheless it is going to elevate your glucose levels. So you just want to be very mindful, and that's what we recommend. Do up to 1 cup and take small sips just to get you by. You know,
A
we say,
liter
hey,
isn't that much. I mean, in a whole day, that's what you're allowing. So it has to be done very carefully. Like, I see what you're saying. This is like not like a survival type thing. You know, like you're gonna survive. It's more about just a gentle like relaxation of your body. Like if you're
it's
on an
just giving a
island and
little
you're
push.
fasting and you're dying and you came across 100 gallons of coconut water, you just start drinking it like crazy. But that's not what this is. This is meant to be a time for your body to repair itself. That's what I'm
Exactly.
understanding.
And
And
I
your
actually
soul, yeah.
I wanted to go back to that because that's what something that you were asking and talking a lot about is, you know, when it comes to fasting for someone that's like super active, we do ask that people take a break from exercising and from really intense labor and activity, because when you're fasting, your body is repairing and recovering. So the concept isn't, I'm going to fast and go CrossFit or go run
Sure.
5 miles, right? We're actually resting the body, resting the nervous system, resting the mind, and more going inwards and really exploring what the fast is bringing up for us on a spiritual, on an energetic and emotional level. So
Wow, that's very powerful.
this is also a very deep program for those maybe on a spiritual journey. There's been a lot of
Yeah.
great masters and spiritual leaders that have also fasted and have really found more enlightenment through fasting. So we also encourage those that maybe you already eat healthy, maybe you already have intermittent fasting down, maybe you're already plant-based, but to go deeper and really explore how you can connect deeper with your spirit, with your body, and have a stronger relationship with your intuition. It really awakens that side of you up. So it's really, really cool seeing people's superpowers emerge through fasting.
And a lot of health stories. I'm sure a lot of people who have gotten past things like diabetes or candida or things that
Yep.
are ravaging their body. Sugar.
Candida, colitis, what you were saying earlier,
Hmm.
IBS,
Crohn's and all these. Yeah. Wow.
Crohn's. Crohn's is
Crohn's is
chronic,
tougher.
but
Yeah.
we've been able to help with the symptoms and also the flare-ups. So
Sure.
this is where fasting is so powerful, because at the very end, after we go out of fruit fasting, we start intermittent fasting, and that's the Luna life. That's the lifestyle we recommend. It's different for everyone. For women specifically, it can be up to 12 hours of a fast versus, you know, an 8-16. However, you know, everyone's different and everyone's hormones are going to respond differently. However, intermittent fasting is also extremely powerful for gut rest. And that's what has been shown, is that people live longer when they eat less and they give
Yeah.
the body a break. We
I've
are
been seeing that in
conditioned.
more and more podcasts. Longevity experts are saying, you know, to not eat within X amount of hours of your sleep, but also eating more one meal a day is more beneficial to your body than to eat the 3 meals a day, and that the breakfast is your most important meal a day is a big myth. You know, a lot of people say that actually, and it depends on your lifestyle, obviously. If you're doing like a major workout, because like as a former professional athlete and still a masters marathon runner and one of the faster runners in Miami, I train at a seriously high level, very high level. And sometimes I wake up at 5 a.m. and even sometimes my training groups meet at 4:30 in the morning. And you sometimes have to eat like something before the training run. Otherwise, if it's like a 16-mile run, you won't have enough power to get through it. So they recommend 100 to 200 calories before, like a banana, or I like overnight oats. I eat a lot of overnight oats, but I don't eat them right before I run, but I'll take the mushrooms. I'll take like a banana, maybe some almond butter on something like some sprouted grain bread. That's like the only bread I like is sprouted. But like for me, I think the point would be is that it's harder to time my meal. It's based more on a lifestyle, I feel like, because like a lot of people that are very intellectual, and I'm intellectual, but I'm more, I guess, when you're driven in that athlete pursuit, you know, you got to time your meals correctly, and you need a recovery meal, and you need, you know, your meal might be bigger. Like if I burn 5,000 calories in a day, now that's why you're saying, because some days I will burn 4,000 to 5,000 calories in a day, or more, and I'll get over 25,000 steps or 20,000, and that's my daily goal. And you know, if you're fasting, you're probably not getting 20,000 steps. But for me, it's a metric of my daily health because I'm a runner. But I could definitely see myself taking a 10-day break from running, which I've done many times. I've taken 2-week breaks. I've taken planned breaks. In May, I took a week or two off in May because I had Miami Mushroom Fest and there was so much going on. I couldn't even think about running because I was working like 20 hours a day. And like, well, I always sleep, but like, you know, point being is that, you know, I think it's a little easier when you said you change your lifestyle for the Lunafast program, because intermittent fasting for me is more like I won't eat from, I mean, I would try not to eat within 4 or 5 hours of sleep and then get that time plus the sleep time plus the morning time if I don't have a hard workout. I don't like to really eat much before about noon or 11. I think a lot of people are the same way, or 1. In the morning, I like a lot of liquids. I like my superfoods. I like my extracts, my nutrient, my lighter foods. I like my juices. I feel like I'm a lot lighter when I do that. The only restriction would be is if I did a super hard workout at 6 or 7 in the morning, then I would need, you know, a lot of plant-based protein afterwards. Otherwise, I've done it and I haven't fed myself, and I create like a really bad pain too, like where the body eats itself because I wasn't able to eat a lot of times after a workout. Like sometimes the workouts were so hard that I couldn't eat for an hour or two because my stomach wouldn't let me, or I would not be able to move and I'd be stuck. I could barely get a shower and I couldn't eat because I didn't have the right foods there that were easy to eat. And I literally went into like shock. So I think, you know, this discussion is really important about how many meals a day. It's not so easy as saying one's for everyone because of lifestyle. Like one person's a meditation expert. The other person's a marathon runner. You know, and you can be both, but like, you know, maybe the meditation expert burns 1,000 calories a day. You know, like how do you balance the different lifestyles? You work with everyone where they're coming from. Like someone like me who, you know, is used to eating a lot of calories, 2,000 to 3,000 a day at least, you know. Otherwise I'm going to weigh less than 120 pounds and I'm like 130. So I'm already pretty light, you know, like how do you balance these pressures that people bring to you? Like, you know, using me as a case study.
So
because I actually do want to do the program. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to have you. So everyone is so unique and different. And I love that you bring that up because that's the work that I do outside of the Lunafast program, right? So some people aren't ready to go into a 3-day water fast, but they want to lose weight, but they want to learn how to eat. They want to know what times are ideal for them. For them. And so it's a journey also of experimenting. It's not a one size fits all forever. Even for us, like our biome, our bodies are going to change. We're going to have different phases in our lives. Yeah, we have to adapt to what we're being with, right? So maybe
everything should be adaptive. Like my run coaching is adaptive. Week to week it changes based on how I did the previous week. It's not like in stone, you know, like.
Exactly. And so for example, someone that maybe worked nightlife, you know, many in Miami
That's
did
a good
for
example.
years, including myself. Like I had a very different sleep schedule, food schedule, workout schedule. When I stopped, I had to completely change my routine and my lifestyle. And there's still staple things such as meditation, hydration, brushing our teeth, showering. Like there's certain things that we're always going to have to do. It's a matter of learning when and where it feels in its highest alignment for our well-being. And so it's just really important to play around with that. Caloric needs are different. Workout times I actually create meal plans based on people's work and, well, ultimately their lifestyle, but their work and fitness activities. So if someone is working out early in the mornings, the food guidance that I'm going to create is different than someone who works out at night or someone who works out in the afternoon.
That's really
someone
true.
who works out twice a day, it's going to be a different recommendation. And so that's when we're looking at, well, maybe you do need to be having different windows of feeding if you're working out so much versus someone maybe who isn't moving as much and they, their metabolism maybe is a little bit slower. So it really depends on the person.
It's individualized then. You have
100%.
a lot of
Everything is
similarities. So
individual.
you're going to get the athletes, you're going to get the yogis, you're going to get the CrossFitters, you're going to get the soccer moms. Shout out to soccer moms. Quick question. That's an inside joke between me and my girlfriend. She's always teasing me, or I tease her when we're driving. That's a soccer mom. I'm just kidding. Love my soccer moms. Quick question. Do you do blood testing on people? Do you do any type of deeper testing?
We personally don't do it. We don't have a center, but we do recommend for you to bring us any lab work, any medical history. We have a questionnaire that we have you fill out before the program, and we ask that you do upload your labs if you have had them in the last 3 months. Bianca thoroughly reads everything. She's our nurse. She is our mama bear when it comes to the medical side of it and really overseeing clients. We also do one-on-one coaching. Mine is more focused on lifestyle, weight loss, emotional relationship to our bodies and to food. So that's more of like, we have different roles, but we're both very mindful of people that are on medications, have thyroid conditions, blood pressure medications. Like, what does that look like?
Mental health,
fasting?
Right?
Yeah.
Everything. That's so cool. Okay, I'm going to go into the next section because I think we've learned a lot. This is amazing about fasting. What is the number one limiting belief that you've heard, or the one that you want to address to fasting or to health?
I love that you bring this up. This is so good. This is so good. I just want to state that anyone that thinks this program is hard, that in itself is a mindset. That in itself is the limiting belief. It's our minds.
I think I need to hear that too.
All together. It is all here, and it's all the small talk thinking we're not capable. Because our bodies can live up to 2 months without eating with just water. So we're so conditioned from our ancestors, from our parents, from the US. Most of us are born and raised in or have been there for a while. And it's like, surplus. It's like, get the sub and the chips and the soda for $5, And so, well, why not? Bigger is better. Give me more.
More value for your diet.
It's all in your head. It's all in your head.
Wow. Yeah. It's literally a disease, I think, eating in the US. But it's interesting that, it's a mindset. Okay. So I love that the mindset is literally you just need to approach it and surrender to it. Just like with plant medicine, you can't fight it. And you also need to it's not that hard. It sounds like either. It sounds like you guys have a really adaptive program, and it's not like a super box, like strict stop and start. It's gentle. It's a progression. Next area is, what is your first health memory from your childhood? I always ask my guests if there was something in their childhood or what got them started on their health journey. Was it a crisis or any childhood memory? Health crisis.
Okay, I would say when it comes to health,
Have you always been into health?
Yes, 100%. So I grew up dancing and in gymnastics. So I was just a little monkey running around and doing all the moves and performing. And that was just like my happy place, is being on stage and moving my body, recitals, performing. So I had a knee injury. I started dislocating my kneecaps. I fell on my knees and then I started dislocating them. And that was my first scare of like, there's something wrong with my body. And that was something that became like a long effect. It created, I can't work out anymore. I can't move my body as much. Simultaneously, I started puberty. So that was a whole journey in itself, seeing my body shift and change and become a young woman. And there was a lot of fear of the change, because I was so used to just having my body a certain way and moving a certain way. And so I think over time, I developed a lot of different types of eating disorders, just very young, unconsciously wanting to change my body. And I started seeking nutrition. I started seeking diets. I started seeking eating, Slim Fast, Jenny Craig. I mean, I did it all. My mom was so supportive and so loving because she saw how much I struggled with self-confidence and self-love within my own body. And probably around 16, I finally like really healed my knees again, and I started working out again and dancing again and bringing that back to life. And I felt and saw my body shift back so fast that I was fascinated by our body's abilities to heal themselves. And so that that created a huge journey that I ended up studying nutrition, becoming a trainer in college, teaching. I found my stage being in fitness classes, and it's just evolved since. Yeah.
Wow, cool. So you did you do online training? Did you also go to school for it? Like how long have you been studying nutrition for? Because it seems like there's a wide variety of nutritionists too, and I'm always
Yes.
dietitian, and I spelled it wrong the other day. And I consider myself a good speller too. My dad was a spelling bee champion, but and I come from a long line of spelling champions, and I rarely get a word wrong. I got the word dietitian wrong. I spelled it with a C instead of a T, but that's okay. How does a dietitian? How do you become a dietitian? Is it something that you get a lot of training for? Is it easy? I know there's a lot of health coaches out
Yes.
there. What's the range of? Yeah.
So a licensed dietitian is someone that is licensed across the board. So this isn't a state license. This is a nationwide license. I went to college. I got my bachelor's in dietetics and nutrition. I went into college wanting to work in
Where
health.
did you go to college?
I went to FIU.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I
Okay,
went to
South
FIU. That
Florida.
was the only nutrition dietetics program that was there at the time in 2006. So
Wow.
I
The
studied
best one in South Florida, or pretty much the only one? Okay, that was the
at
best
the
one for
time, I
South
think,
Florida. Yeah.
yeah, I think had the master's program, but I just I wanted to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So and I started with public health, thinking, I like public health, I like health, but then I took an intro to nutrition course, and I was like, this is like science meets nutrition, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's go meets the
Practical
body.
science,
So
everyday science. Yeah.
yeah, and so I studied that for 4 years, and then when I graduated, we still needed to do a 1,200-hour didactic program, which was an internship. So I studied and worked in hospitals in so my specialty was lifestyle and weight loss and wellness and eating disorders. So I
Okay.
worked in eating disorder homes, I worked in gyms, I worked in hospitals, and I did different rotations studying under other dietitians and what their work was to really understand more. What really struck me was counseling, coaching, supporting, and eating disorders, because I went through so many different types. So it was something that I was really passionate about helping people work through. However, the corporate setting, also hospitals, I found that I was creating a lot of great concepts for them to provide better quality foods, also to offer better healthy food options, and
Sure.
it
Oh,
wasn't part of the budget. It wasn't part
I
of the
can,
plan.
I can tell that's the truth. Yeah, my mom worked in a hospital for 35 years as a pharmacist, so all my memories as a child visiting her and stuff, and just what she brought home. But I've probably eaten in hospitals, cafeterias hundreds of times, maybe thousands, also for some surgeries I had that were unfortunate accidents, or things that happened in my life. But so I agree with you 100% as someone who's super mindful about my diet and about things I put in my body, that the hospitals need to do a lot of work, and they need to just wake up in general. They're still stuck in a very corporate stance where fasting probably is barely on their radar, right? I mean, nutrition is on their radar, but they don't understand nutrition because
Yeah.
you got lasagna and stuff
And the
things that are
training is
like
very minimal for
saturated
MDs.
fats. Yeah.
Yeah, the training is very minimal for MDs. It's not to say that there aren't MDs that are
They don't do
searching
enough training in nutrition. Yeah, they
and
don't.
evolving. Yeah, but for the general, I mean, I've done even grocery tours with doctors, and they're like, I learned more in this
Wow.
2 hours with you at Publix than
Yeah.
I did in my entire, like
Jeez.
licensing. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh shoot, I need to do this more.
Well, That's why we have people in the community that are like, Lunafast, this is awesome to have you on today, Monica. So let's see, what other questions we have? We have a shout out section. We have other project section. Let's do the shout out section. Are there any people in Live Ultimate also in your community that you want to give a shout out to?
I would love to give a shout out to Bianca. Bianca is my business partner. She is the one that actually. She's the
I think
one that.
you can repeat that. Yeah, you said Bianca, so you want to
Yeah.
give a shout out to Bianca Abbott, who's your business
Yeah,
partner
so
with,
she
and your
was the one that
Lunafast
was.
partner.
She was working with you guys already as a customer and as an advocate, and it was just a double yes. I had tried the products before, but she was a huge pivotal role in not only getting me aligned with Live Ultimate, but also with getting the Lunafest started. You know, we started together meditating on the beach for sunrise every morning at 7 a.m. and we would meet up and rollerblade and we would do Kundalini and we would just hang out, and we knew there's something that we're here to create. We don't know what it is, but
Together.
over the
Oh,
years,
wow. It's very powerful.
yeah, over
That's
the
so
years,
cool that it started with a lifestyle thing of meditation and with beach, and then, and just a business approach. That's very friendship too. It sounds like that started and you knew there was something there. That's so cool. So you guys are the two head mavens. I saw on Instagram the other day, or the head women at Lunafast.
Yeah.
Do you have any other support staff, or is it mainly the two of you that do everything?
Yeah, so we also have a social media assistant, and she's actually out of the Bay Area, which is where I was born and raised. She's super sweet. She's amazing. She's been helping us, with our graphics, getting everything in just more organized. We also have, I want to give a shout out to Ari. She is the one that's helping us revamp our whole new website and just our business model. We want to help the masses. Our mission is to help millions of people with fasting, those that are ready to go into either a deeper detoxification or a spiritual awakening, or want to just tune in more with themselves and learn what their body is telling them, and just understand, like, this is our soul mission. So we want to be of service and find it in a way that is accessible for us also to support so many people. So
that's huge. Well, I can see on social media, Lunafast is on all platforms, the Lunafast, and then your website's Lunafast. So yeah, for those, it's a Miami-based program, but you have people all over the U.S. doing it.
All over the world.
All over
Europe,
the world. That's
South America,
that's
Australia,
cool. Yep.
Asia, everywhere.
That's amazing. That's the power of the internet now. So what other tips do you have for people besides fasting and the lifestyle tips you mentioned, like grounding and earthing, and, for gut health and for overall vitality that you want to share? I know for me, it's mushrooms and maybe exercise. Those are my big two.
I love that. It's going to be very unique, but I would say meditation, journaling, and singing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I would say
journaling,
that
we've had another journaling expert on a couple months ago, and we learned a lot about journaling. Journaling is very powerful. So that's okay. Do you journal every day?
I wake up every morning and I just start writing. And I also think that meditation in the morning and the night to welcome the day, to close the day out, even just sitting and honoring life, honoring space, honoring ourselves for a moment in time, whether it's 30 seconds, whether it's 5 minutes. Sometimes I'm struggling to get myself to sit and it ends up being an hour. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize how much I needed that. And so that is like a energetic detox or reset in that moment to really honor ourselves morning and night. And singing, we don't activate our throat chakra enough, whether it's humming or just sharing a tune in the shower, or maybe singing a song that we want to learn, and just opening up our throat chakra. Most of us are blocked. Most of us have some sort of issue, like trauma or emotional stigma around our voice and around speaking our truth. So I find that the more that we activate our voice, the more we step into our most authentic selves, and we can truly show up for others and have more authentic relationships.
Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, I think that's something we don't talk about enough, is the throat health and holding back stuff, and the trauma, and that throat area is very powerful. Wow, so that's a good tip for you guys at home, is sing. And some people I think are self-conscious of singing because, you know, they don't have the best voice, but you can sing or you can hum or you can do other things like whistle, or you can just, you know, any type of thing that opens up the throat chakra, even herbs. And
Let me ask you something.
Kundalini yoga, I know, opens it up, like doing all
When
that
you
stuff.
first started running, were you considered like an expert runner, or did you like come out of the
No,
womb just like as an amazing runner, or did you
no.
train and practice every day?
Yeah, I was really slow at first, and it took me,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's how it
it
is
took me
with
a long
singing.
time. It took me years to get better. But
These
yeah,
are muscles. These are muscles, and all of us have a voice, and it's so beautiful and so empowering just to even share it and get out of our heads of the idea that our voice isn't pretty or our voice
sure.
isn't powerful, right?
Okay. Yeah, I believe that. That's a very, well, throat chakra and the throat area, and just, you know, a lot of illness starts in the throat. I actually yesterday started to get a sore throat for the first time in months because I've been taking such good care of my health, but I was out in the rain a lot. And it rained a lot in Miami the last 4 days, like a lot, like over 12 to 20 inches. Like all the streets are underwater. And I was doing some running in the rain. I was training at night at the track. I ran in a downpour with lightning. I was always getting out of my clothes quickly and, like, you know, cleaning up and trying to get into warm clothes and like warm tea and stuff and soups and lentils and all these good things that are hot. But I started to get a sore throat. And so I think the throat is an important area. So that's a huge lifestyle tip from Monika, is to look at your throat and singing. Any other things you want to share today, Monika? I know Mexico, do you want to talk about why you moved to Mexico, and why you love Miami and Tulum so much and what's going on in Tulum? And a
Yeah,
lot of my
yeah,
friends
sure.
going there, I hear about Tulum every single day nearly, and I've never been there in my life.
Oh, please come. It is a vortex, you know. It is definitely an energetic vortex. It's like a Bali, in that sense. It's also very different from Mexico itself, and I think traveling throughout Mexico right now really opened my eyes to see so much beautiful, authentic culture that Mexico has. Tulum is a little bit different from that, so it's kind of like South Beach versus South Florida, where it's
Okay.
like South Beach is a very specific way of living and being and just experiencing Miami versus Kendall or Doral or the Gables. It's just different. It's unique. And Tulum,
Is it
man.
I've heard
So
it's sacred. I've heard it's a Mayan culture. I mean, I've gone to Guatemala,
yes.
so I've gone to like Atitlan and Antigua and
Oh
some beautiful
wow. Yeah.
places. Yeah, I've had actually, I'm going in 2 weeks. I was looking at flights last night because my friend has a place. So I train in this really quiet area in the mountains. But I've heard Tulum is a lot of people go there for spiritual reasons, and that it's very like natural. All the resorts, a lot of them are made, like my friend Isaiah and his girlfriend Yada,
Yep.
they are at a place called Khan, I believe.
Yep.
And
They're
it's
my
like, I've
neighbors.
seen the photos and it's like super natural. Everything is
Yes.
organic
So
and
there's
clean.
there's like with everything in life, there's a lot of duality, right? And there is duality also in Tulum. And I just want to be fully transparent for anyone watching this because
Yeah,
as eco-friendly as Tulum shows to be, and like yes, it is beautiful and everything's made of wood, and we are looking to create more regenerative resources and ways of living that are more in alignment with nature. There is also the tourism that attracts and brings money into this town and Mexico altogether. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword because they don't have sustainable practices set up with their water systems. They Most hotels don't have good laws
sure.
and reinforcements, so they're dumping all of the
Sewage
sewage
just
into
going into the
oceans.
ocean and stuff.
We
That's
have a
terrible.
huge issue with something called
Yeah.
sargasso, which is an overgrowth of seaweed. I know you've seen it in
Oh,
Miami
wow.
Beach. Ours is like
Yeah.
20 times that much. So right now you try to go run on the beach and it is just, it's literally
Is
piles
the
of
water
seaweed.
quality and the fish? I mean, I know in Biscayne Bay it's a big issue with
Yeah.
they had the toughest fertilizer laws I just read passed in Florida and South Florida in the whole nation in the last 2 weeks because of apparently they finally got the laws through. Where I'm from in Wisconsin, it's really bad with lakes too from the algae, from the runoff. But I know with what you're talking about is overdevelopment of the hotels and also the
Yeah.
tourist economy that we see I live in South Beach, and so you know it's a shame. And there's whole tons of nonprofits here that are just dedicated to pick up all the trash from the tourists. There's this cleanmiamibeach.org thing from a woman from
Mhm.
Germany who came here like 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, and I was reading about her the other day. and I don't know if it was in New Times or in Miami Herald, and she single-handedly has a group of like 100 people that meets like once a week, and they clean up the entire. They clean up so much trash it blows your mind. So like it just is a shame because I know Tulum is probably more natural. Is it more like a Maui? Is it more like a? Is it more like it's got like more jungle? I've heard than Miami.
Yeah, we have more jungle, and we also have something called cenotes. So there's over 40,000
Yes, the
underwater
caves.
cave pools, and they're natural pools. And yeah, they're finding in a lot of tests that there's drugs, there's pesticides, there's chemicals, there's everything getting into this water. And I have found that over my time being here, for anyone that is an expat coming to another land, like what is it that I'm offering to the space? Like how am I showing up for the communities here? Because I did a lot of that work in Miami. So
or am I just unconsciously contributing to the whole eco footprint of being an expat? Because it's different than when you're truly more naturalized there. It's even in Miami, it's tough, like because it's tough to compost, it's tough to recycle. It's like you have to figure it out. You have to like. You can't just give up.
There's a lot of really great systems in place here, and there's like a huge recycling place out here. And I also am feeling I've been doing a lot of work with the waters, obviously through fasting, but then also I want to go deeper. That's a lot of the work, spiritual work that I've been doing here has been giving me that nudge to work deeper with humanitarian work on helping give more cleaner water access to other people throughout the world, because we don't even realize how blessed we are to have fresh water. I have to bathe my hair and my skin with filtered water. I can only brush my teeth with filtered water because of the poor water quality that we have access to in Tulum.
Wow.
And that's coming from my bathroom sink. So I have to be really mindful of how I work with the waters here, and every drop really counts. And, it all kind of ties back to water fasting and like our mission to help cleanse our bodies. It's also a reflection of our earth. So it's important that we also support our water on this earth and get clean, fresh water so that we can continue to live. Because when we clean the biome of this earth, when we clean the water of this earth, we're truly also healing ourselves as a collective. So that's like a big mission that I have discovered being here. And I'm really inspired to stay, back and forth, still work everywhere, but just really give back and find a new way for all of us to really coexist together with these sacred elements and with this beautiful earth and all the beautiful people on it. I believe we are all, we are one, but we're also here to come back to ourselves. So may it be through fasting.
That's a really powerful lesson. Yeah. That, the environment is very connected to our bodies, and we are part of nature, not, separate from it. And we're not the masters of it. So we need to really, take care of nature, and hopefully that Tulum and Miami, I know there's been new laws coming on for safety, but there really needs to be more done to protect the oceans and I think, and Mexico has a lot of work to do, because I've been to Rosarito and I've seen dead dolphins on the beach, and I've been to Tijuana, I've been to, Meneadero, some of those Baja cities, and I hate to see it. This was a long time ago, but I saw a lot of trash and garbage in Mexico, but that was more over by the Baja, and it was the further you went away from the border, the better it got. But I haven't ever gone. Guatemala, actually, that's a good thing. Guatemala City was the cleanest city I've ever been to in the world. And my friend who's from there told me it's because their mayor cares so much, and the city cares so much. Every single person cares so much that there's not trash anywhere in Guatemala City. Zero trash. Like, it's the cleanest city in the world. Their air quality, I mean, it's a good example. And, Mexico City could be the same way if they wanted to be, if they took it seriously. But it's like a consciousness thing too, I think. And Tulum, you have so many enlightened people there. Hopefully change is made soon, because I've heard about, there's a lot of stuff going on with all the parties down there for, the DJs and everything. I hear a lot about that too. And I'm sure that hopefully is getting consciousness to where it's needed. And having you down there, I'm sure, is helping a lot. Is Bianca down there too, or is she in Miami?
She's in Miami, and we travel back and forth. So it's really exciting that we can, I miss her, and I miss being with her and being able to create more with her. But, as individuals, we also have our callings, and we're very grateful that, at least I'm grateful that we created an online platform that we can continue to work together and spread the message and be a guide for others.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're at the perfect time. I mean, everyone's accustomed to Zoom now. I think everyone can use Zoom. My parents even use Zoom, and they didn't know how to do anything. for technology. And so now is a time of, virtual, living in a sense, because you can learn something from, you're in Tulum, I'm in Miami, and we're reaching out to people all over the US with this amazing knowledge about fasting. So thank you so much for being our guest today. We'll have you back in the future. We'd love to have Bianca on too at some point. So maybe you guys can do something together in a couple months, come back. And I love to have my guests every 6 months or so come back and give us updates. And I think you provide a lot of valuable information today. People always ask us about gut health and about fasting. So if you have any questions about fasting, nutrition, gut health, Tulum, being a women's health, reach out to Monika Arenas. That's our guest today, and her Instagram is Feed Me Health, and her Lunafast program, it's at the Lunafast. Thank you so much, Bianca. Any closing thoughts you want to say real quick? Give you the last
I just
words.
want to say thank you. Thank you for holding the space, the container. Thank you for being who you are, because I wouldn't be able to do probably half the things in terms of getting my supplies and just being able to share and spread this message if it weren't for you. So thank you for having me today, and really appreciate it. And I'm so excited to continue sharing the gifts of shrooms and greens for the world.
You're so welcome, Monika. It's been a pleasure having you part of the Live Ultimate family, and count me in for Lunafast. I am going into a huge training block where I'm going to Guatemala in 10 days, and then I have the Boston Marathon, which is my first major marathon since before COVID.
Wow.
But that Boston Marathon's October 11th, and I go like this whole summer is like an escalation or a uptick on my training. From right now I'm at 35 miles a week to I'm climbing to 60 to 80 miles a week. And so I really want to do the program, but I have a marathon October 11th and December 5th. So we have to figure out, and there might be a little gap in the middle between those two where I could take a break to, especially right afterwards. It might be actually interesting, like 3 days after the marathon, because that's when I'm supposed to be taking a rest anyways for like that first week. Is maybe you got to refuel yourself for a couple of days, but then maybe go into that fast, because I am entering a major uptick right now in activity. But I 100%, I invite a lot of my friends and anyone watching this to try the Lunafast program, because I've been hearing about it for years, but I need to do it because I want to experience the amazing things you're talking about, the clarity, the gut health, the all your system. We need to flush our bodies out every couple of months too, or years, whatever it takes. It's just
Yearly, seasonally, biannually, 100%.
Awesome. Well, count me in, and think about, otherwise, if you want, think about maybe in October, maybe in like mid-October, I could do it if you have
I'll
maybe
send you the
put,
dates. We have all the dates because we work with the new moon, and then I'll send you the dates for the rest of the year, and you tell me what fits in your schedule, and if not, January when you're done.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on today, Monika. It was great to connect with you and to share all this information. And I learned a lot, and I hope everyone else did too. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for
Happy
having me,
Wellness
and have a
Wednesday.
wonderful day.
You're
Tell
welcome.
everyone I say hi over there.
You too. Be well.
Bye.